Welcome back to Alpha Tactics. So today we're going to do a little bit of a video that a lot of you guys have requested. So what I have in front of me is going to be your Palmetto, basically just bottom of the barrel basic AR, versus the IWI Zion 15. So I think a lot of people were wanting us to do Palmetto, obviously because it's a little bit better on the price point. Most people can afford it, versus the IWI, which is going to be your probably the best priced quality AR that you're going to get. So we do a little bit of a comparison between the two, kind of see how they feel, how they function, how they shoot, kind of go over some of the parts on them, what you're getting out of the basic Palmetto versus just the standard IWI Zion here. So just to kind of dive into it, so the Zion is going to come with B5 furniture, typically right now priced at around $8.99. You're getting pretty good parts out of this thing. So they stamped their logo on their bolt, which is a pretty nice little touch, and after all the rounds that have been through this, it's still held up, so you don't have to worry about it really rubbing off. I guess it's just the way that they lasered it on there. I'm not exactly sure how he did it, but anyways, you're going to come with a nice bull barrel with a 15-inch handguard with a full rail on top of it. It's not going to have all these accessories, obviously. This is stuff that has been done to it after it was bought. Usually they'll come with a standard mil-spec trigger. That's not what's in this one. And then obviously the slings on it, that's not what comes on it. Another thing that you're going to notice it comes with is what 90% of ARs come with is a bird cage flash hider, or an A2 flash hider. The Palmetto, just basic one here, comes with the same thing, but a lot of people wanted us to compare it to the Palmetto Saber. Although we couldn't get our hands on one of those, we do plan on getting one in the future. Those come with a 3-prong flash hider, but this is what we have to work with now. Plus, it's a little bit more fair seeing how it has the same flash hider. I will say the difference between the two, this one looks to have more of a pencil barrel. It's not quite as thick of a barrel as the Zion, which typically not a big problem. You're not really firing these in full auto anyway. And even if you are, unless you're running thousands of rounds through them, you're not really going to tell much of a difference. Obviously, the bull barrel is going to do a lot better as far as keeping its rigidity and holding its group, but the pencil barrel might do a little bit better as far as cooling off. So once you get one of them so hot, then you can, I guess, make your assessment. But unless you're running your rifles thousands of rounds at a time, you don't really have to worry about it. This one, being the basic price point, it's going to come with a lot of your A2 features. So with the A2 stock, the A2 grip, nothing crazy fancy about it. If you do go with the same price range as the Zion and go with the Saber, it's going to come with also your B5 stuff. I'm sorry, excuse me, Magpul stuff. Whether this one comes with the B5 stuff, it's going to come with your Magpul furniture, which is also really, really good. I prefer the B5 stocks, but I also prefer the Magpul grips. So everybody's different. This one's going to come with your standard mil-spec trigger, nothing fancy. Mil-spec, pretty much everything, your forward assist, your mag release, your non-ambidextrous safety, all that stuff. We've got it slapped on with a Hollison here, so just to kind of get a little dot so we can aim, because it's not going to come with flip-up irons because it's optic ready. So, but yeah, we'll get into shooting these a little bit. You can notice on this bolt, there's no kind of laser engraving anything. They just kind of put a standard bolt in there, so which is fine. It's going to run just fine. It doesn't need all the pretty stuff added to it. Both of them seem to be a mid-length gas system, so they should be pretty ideal as far as the comparison goes, but I kind of want to see how they feel recoil impulse, how they seem as far as function reliability, and run them both a little bit together and see if there is much of a difference between spending a little bit less and getting still a good AR, or go ahead and get your better end ARs while also still not killing your pocketbook. And just for YouTube compliancy, we are using 10-round magazines today, so as much as that pains me, still kind of want to make a little bit off this video. So we're loading up green tip ammunition in here, PMC. Nothing fancy, just easy stuff. We're going to run it on both guns just to kind of keep the test fair and see how this thing does, I guess. So pretty easy going recoil impulse. I'm not really noticing any kind of rise or anything like that. Obviously with the birdcage flash hiders, it's pushing a lot of that force up, so you're really not going to have that issue. Pretty easy going towards the rear too. That B5 stock's really nice. I like that. So so far this is a pretty awesome little gun. Okay, up next, the Palmetto. So a few things that I noticed about this one, which this is a little bit of the lower end of the Palmettos. We don't have the full length rail up top. They do that to cut out a little bit of weight, because I mean, unless you're running like PEX and all that kind of stuff, you really don't need that. Still the same birdcage flash hider like we said earlier. Other than that, I mean, AR's an AR, so let's just see if it holds up good against the Zion, or how it feels, I guess. So already, I'm kind of noticing already, the recoil impulse seems a little bit worse on this one. I think it's just more straight back. That could have a lot to do with this stock being a lot more uncomfortable than that B5 is. I'm not a fan of the A2 grip, but I do like how Magpul kind of keeps that same grip angle. So for me, it's very comfortable. B5 has a lot more straighter grip angle, more of a straight down. I like the angle. To me, that's just, it feels better, but everybody's different. 90% of people that buy an AR are going to change all the furniture on it anyway. Also getting a lot of gas back here, and I don't know if that's just possibly because of the charging handle, which that can be upgraded too. But I'm noticing a lot of gas coming out back here, kind of choking me up, not even 10 shots in. Like I said, don't want to chalk that up to the gun. Obviously, it cycled really well. I honestly think it's just the parts. You can replace that no problem. So, not too bad. Pretty decent little gun. Okay, on to mentioning the, obviously the upgrades you're going to do to the gun. These are the charging handles that we're using. So the Zion originally came with the same charging handle the Palmetto comes with. So I kind of want to swap out and put the Radian that we're using in the Zion in there and see if that helps mitigate the gas that I'm getting on the back. Because if you notice, the Radian has a lot more closed off groove back here to fit that upper than that A2 does. So you got a lot more room right here for gases to escape. So I'm going to swap that out and also swap out the stock and see if that changes it, makes the recoil impulse feel a little bit better, and see if I can mitigate some of this gas to the face. Yeah, so definitely a lot tighter gap right here with this charging handle. So let's just see if that helps the situation any. So yeah, a lot less gas back to the face. It still feels like it has a lot more recoil impulse, and that could be the buffer tube, or not the tube, sorry, but the buffer spring. Could be lots of things that play a role in that, but all in all, still a good gun. You're still getting a very functional, reliable gun. So I think it's still a good choice for anybody that wants to get into the AR market for a good, affordable price. So Palmetto still has a good name in my book. So I'm happy with it. And quick summarization for this video. Obviously, I'm going to stick with the IWI. I'm a bigger fan of it. Not only do we have better parts on it, not even really getting into that, just the functionality of the gun is going to be more consistent. IWI has a better name as far as reliability goes, and just a bigger name in the industry. Palmetto's got a better name for budget guns and getting everybody kind of in the game, or in the gun whatever world, for a better price. So love both companies. I don't have a problem with either one. IWI is going to be out of Israel, so foreign country, whereas Palmetto are made here in the United States. Maybe some of their parts are outsourced, I don't know, but Palmetto states Florida, so that's here in the US. Like I said, both great guns. Something did notice, just to mention, which, you know, it's not really going to matter too much because you're going to run whatever sling you want to. You're probably going to get your own swivel. We did notice that the Palmetto's handguard comes with a little swivel spot for your sling, sorry, excuse me. and the IWI does not. We actually had to add one right here. So not a big deal. I mean, that part's like maybe 10 bucks, so doesn't really matter, but it's something to think about. I mean, if you don't want that on your handguard because you don't like the way it looks, then that's also preference. So if you're gonna spend the money and you're gonna get, you know, trying to get into the better AR world, I would obviously go with the Zion. If you're just looking to build a budget gun and you just want to be a part of the gun world and have you a nice AR, something that functions good, go with the Palmetto. I did notice that the gas is still a little bit more kind of prevalent on the the Palmetto versus the IWI, even with the charging handle. Again, that could be just fitment of parts. There could be gaps between the bolt and the upper. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that could work its way, and you can make arguments on either one. But I think the fitment and a lot of the parts are a lot better on the IWI. But you guys make your own decision. Hopefully eventually we'll be able to get the Palmetto Saber, that way they're both at the same price point, compare those. But for now, here's your Palmetto versus IWI. We appreciate you watching. Thank you for supporting the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.